The darkness of deep space stretched endlessly. Stars flickered like tiny fires against the black void, and distant planets glimmered coldly in the distance. In a quiet corner of the galaxy, a cluster of alien empires watched the trade lanes closely. Their fleets were massive, sleek, and armed to the teeth. They believed themselves powerful, wise, and untouchable. And yet, an unease had begun to creep into their commanders' hearts, a small ripple of doubt that they quickly dismissed. "Humans," muttered Commander Zarkin, his long fingers tapping impatiently on the hollow screen. "Primitive creatures. Their ships are old, slow, barely worth our time." Around him, other alien leaders nodded in agreement. Their sensors had long tracked human activity, and their reports always told the same story: humans were insignificant, reckless, and weak. In a galaxy filled with ancient empires and war-hardened fleets, humans were nothing more than a curiosity. "Even if they come here," sneered Admiral Thax, his jagged teeth flashing in a half-smile, "we will crush them without effort. Their weapons are laughable and their tactics outdated." They laughed, the sound harsh and metallic, echoing through the command chamber. Outside the walls of their massive fleet, sensors silently scanned the empty lanes, waiting to catch any sign of life or of threat. Then the faint pulse of an anomaly appeared on the long-range scanners. A tiny blip, small and almost invisible, moved deliberately across the edge of the star lane. The aliens leaned closer. "Is that?" Commander Zarkin squinted. "Yes. It appears to be a human fleet," replied a young officer, her voice tight with excitement. "But it's very small. Almost nothing." The aliens exchanged amused glances. A human fleet so small, and yet it dared to come this close to their territory. The laughter resumed, louder this time, shaking the polished walls of their command station. "They fly in such outdated ships," said Admiral Thax. "Wooden hulls, slow engines. How do they even survive?" Far from the alien fleets, in the shadow of a dense asteroid belt, a small human scout ship moved silently. Its hull was scratched and worn, showing signs of age and countless journeys. To any casual observer it looked insignificant. Ordinary. Weak. But it moved with purpose, weaving between floating rocks, completely unnoticed by the alien sensors that searched for them. Inside the scout ship, the human pilot, Lieutenant Mara Voss, kept her eyes on the screen. The human fleet was small, yes, but she could see what the aliens could not. Behind the asteroids, a massive shape lingered. A shadow that dwarfed anything in the immediate vicinity. The Vanguard-Class Star Destroyer. It was the kind of ship that could strike fear into even the oldest alien empires, but its presence remained a secret, for now. The humans in the scout ship moved with quiet precision, relaying information back to the larger fleet while remaining invisible. Mara tapped the console. "Sensors confirm," she whispered. "The main vessel, it's bigger than they expect. Way bigger." Back in the alien command chamber, the small human fleet continued to approach. The aliens watched casually, still convinced of their superiority. They saw tiny shapes on their screens, simple, outdated ships moving slowly, almost aimlessly. Nothing to worry about. But then a subtle shift occurred. A long-range sensor flickered, capturing a shadow where nothing should exist. Commander Zarkin frowned. "That's unusual." "Probably a glitch," said Admiral Thax, waving it off. "Humans don't hide massive ships. They can barely maintain their fleets as it is. Move the scanners, double-check." The aliens intensified their scanning beams, but the Vanguard-Class remained hidden, its massive hull blending with the dark rocks and shadows of the asteroid belt. Its weapons remained dormant. Its engines silent. The human strategy was simple: let the enemy believe they had nothing to fear, until it was too late. From her position in the scout ship, Mara watched the alien fleet. "They think we are weak," she muttered. "They think they can intimidate us with numbers and size. They have no idea what's coming." She transmitted the observation back to the command hub of the human fleet. The Vanguard-Class, their secret weapon, waited patiently. It was a predator lying in ambush, ready to strike when the moment was perfect. The alien commanders continued their discussion, oblivious. "Their fleet is tiny," Zarkin said again, a note of arrogance creeping into his voice. "We can destroy them before they even reach the inner lanes." But deep inside, a shadow of doubt had begun to grow. Something did not feel right. Their sensors hinted at something immense. But when they tried to locate it, nothing appeared. Mara's voice cut through the silence, calm and steady, reporting back, "It's bigger than we thought." The words hung in the void like a whisper of doom. The aliens paused, screens flickering, suspicion finally dawning. but it was too late. Deep in the asteroid belt, the Vanguard-Class waited. And in the cold, black silence of space, the game had only just begun. The alien commanders stared at the screens in disbelief. A small, slow-moving human fleet continued toward their territory, and yet there was something about the way the ships moved, careful, precise, deliberate, that made their stomachs twist with unease. Admiral Thax leaned forward, his claws brushing the control panel. "This is ridiculous," he growled. "How can they fly like this with ships so old? Their hulls are barely space-worthy. And yet, they move like they know exactly where they are going." Commander Zarkin frowned. "It is just human luck," he said. "Primitive creatures like these rely on instinct and hope. Their weapons are small. Their shields weak. We outgun them 100-fold. But still the unease lingered. The alien sensors, no matter how advanced, could not read what was hiding behind the asteroid belt. Something massive, silent, and terrifying waited. They did not know it, but the humans had prepared a trap. At the edge of the asteroid belt, the Vanguard-class star destroyer floated like a shadow of death. Its hull, black and angular, absorbed the faint starlight, making it almost invisible to sensors. Hundreds of smaller human ships maintained tight formation around it, sleek scout ships and old-looking frigates moving like a protective swarm. Inside the scout ship, Lieutenant Mara Voss monitored the alien fleet. "They're underestimating us," she whispered into the comm. "They think our fleet is tiny and weak. They think we are slow. They don't realize what is waiting for them." Her voice was calm, steady, but her eyes burned with intensity. She knew the aliens would strike first, and when they did, the humans had to be ready. Back in the alien fleet, the commanders finally gave the order. "Prepare to intercept," Zarkin said. "Show them what true power looks like. Fire if they come within range." The aliens mobilized. Their massive ships glinted with deadly weapons, turrets rotating toward the approaching humans. Dozens of laser batteries powered up, missile bays opened, and fighter wings scrambled into formation. "Pathetic," Thax said, watching the small fleet inch closer. "All of this for a handful of human ships? We will crush them before they even realize what hit them." The aliens fired their first warning shots, long-range disruptor beams aimed at the nearest human ships. The shots flared brightly in the blackness of space, illuminating the fragile-looking hulls. But the humans did not panic. The old-looking ships twisted, dodged, and disappeared between the asteroids with impossible speed. Missiles evaporated against sudden energy shields that flickered to life just in time. "Shields stable," Mara reported. "No casualties." Inside the Vanguard-class, Captain Ryland stood at the command bridge, eyes scanning the battle. His crew moved with silent precision. "Let them come closer," he said. "We will let them feel safe, then they will see the truth." The aliens were already feeling the first hints of uncertainty. Their sensors picked up movements they could not explain. Ships appeared where they shouldn't, disappeared suddenly, and reappeared at unexpected angles. "What is going on?" Zarkin shouted, banging a claw against the console. "Their fleet, it's moving too fast. Impossible." "It must be trickery," Thax said, but even his voice betrayed a quiver of doubt. "Humans can't possibly have technology this advanced. It's illogical." But logic mattered little in the chaos that was about to unfold. The Vanguard-class revealed itself in a sudden burst of brilliance. Emerging from the asteroid shadows, the massive ship's engines glowed with raw power. Its hull reflected faint starlight like polished black glass. Laser cannons rotated to face the alien fleet. Drones and smaller ships swarmed outward, forming a deadly network of attack and defense. The alien commanders froze. Their arrogance cracked. For the first time, they realized that humans were not weak. They had underestimated not just the fleet but the mind behind it. Humans had always been underestimated, and always had a way to turn weakness into strength. "Targeting systems, locked," Mara said softly, her voice carrying calm confidence. And then, the first coordinated strike came. Small human frigates darted out of the shadows, launching micromissiles and plasma bursts with deadly accuracy. Alien ships attempted evasive maneuvers, but their size and numbers made them clumsy. Disruptor beams met empty space as the humans twisted away, unhurt. The Vanguard-class fired only once, a massive energy blast that cut through a squadron of alien cruisers, leaving nothing but debris floating in the void. Alarms rang across the alien fleet. They're destroying us," Zarkin whispered, unable to believe his own words. "It's impossible. Our fleet is larger, stronger." But numbers did not matter. Strategy, discipline, and precision did. Humans moved like a single organism, each ship covering another, each strike planned and deadly. The aliens' laughter from minutes ago had vanished, replaced by fear and disbelief. Captain Rylan watched silently. "Keep pressure steady," he said. "Do not show all our strength yet. Let them feel fear. Let them believe the galaxy is still theirs, then remind them why humans survive." Inside the alien command chamber, panic spread like wildfire. Some ships attempted retreat, others desperately fired without aim, and still the humans advanced, slow, deliberate, and unstoppable. Mara smiled faintly. "They thought we were slow. They thought we were weak. They thought they could intimidate us. They have no idea what is coming." The first part of the battle had begun. The aliens were learning a lesson they would never forget. Humans were not what they appeared to be. And in the silent shadows of space, the Vanguard-Class Star Destroyer waited, patient and deadly, ready to show the galaxy that it was no longer the humans to be underestimated. The alien fleet had assumed superiority. Their numbers were greater, their weapons were heavier, and their confidence filled the vacuum of space like a tangible force. But as the first shots of the human fleet reached them, doubt began to crack the walls of arrogance. It started small. A single alien frigate, massive and proud, was suddenly surrounded by flashes of plasma and disappeared in a silent explosion. The aliens' targeting systems could not track the tiny human ships. The craft twisted, turned, and vanished between the shadows of floating asteroids as if the laws of physics themselves had shifted. "What is this?" Commander Zarkin shouted, his voice harsh and trembling. "They're moving too fast. They're ships, they're everywhere at once." Admiral Thax's mandibles clicked nervously. "It's impossible. Their hulls are old, their engines, they shouldn't move like this." But the humans had no intention of showing their full strength yet. The small fleet, the ones that had seemed fragile and outdated, were only a distraction. They darted between alien formations, launching coordinated micromissiles and plasma bursts. Each strike hit with surgical precision. Turrets rotated uselessly, energy shields flared, but the human attacks were always one step ahead. From the asteroid belt, the Vanguard-Class Star Destroyer moved silently. Massive engines hummed quietly, almost inaudible across the void. Its sleek black hull reflected distant starlight in patterns that confused sensors and scanners. The alien fleet did not notice the real danger until it was too late. On board the Vanguard-Class, Captain Rylan observed the chaos. "Let them come closer," he said, his voice calm, commanding. "They think they are winning. Let them feel safe. Then we remind them why humans survive." The aliens, still convinced of their power, pushed forward. Their laser cannons fired relentlessly, missiles streaking through space. Yet each shot either missed entirely or was absorbed by energy shields that flickered to life just in time. The humans' movements were perfectly timed. Each evasive maneuver, each counterattack seemed impossible, unreal. Then, from behind the asteroid belt, the Vanguard-Class struck. A wave of energy flared across space as its main cannons opened fire. A single shot hit the heart of an alien cruiser, splitting it in half. Debris scattered in every direction. The alien fleet's formation shattered instantly, confusion spreading like wildfire. "Retreat! Retreat!" Zarkin screamed, but his orders came too late. Smaller human frigates emerged from the shadows, swarming the disorganized alien ships. The frigates worked together flawlessly, using gravity wells and asteroid cover to trap larger vessels. Missiles exploded, energy beams cut through shields, and alien pilots realized too late that they were fighting not a fleet, but a hive of coordinated precision. Inside the Vanguard-Class, Rylan's eyes scanned the battlefield. "Deploy drones. Maintain formation. Strike key targets." Hundreds of drones, small, agile, and deadly, burst from hidden hangars. They weaved between alien ships, sabotaging weapons, targeting engines, and creating chaos without exposing themselves to return fire. Mara Voss, still piloting her scout ship, guided the drones remotely. "They thought we were weak," she said into the comm. "They thought we were slow. They're about to learn their mistake." The alien fleet tried to regroup, but every attempt to form a line or counterattack failed. Every movement the aliens made had already been anticipated. It was as if the humans were everywhere at once. Alien officers stared at their screens in disbelief. The data did not make sense. Their largest ships, armed with the deadliest weapons in the galaxy, were being destroyed one by ships they had mocked for being old and weak. "Commander Zarkin, our fleet, it's falling apart," one officer whispered, voice trembling. "It cannot be," Zarkin growled, banging his claw against the console. "We outnumber them. We have the firepower." But firepower alone could not overcome strategy, precision, and discipline. The humans' movements were fluid, almost alive, coordinated as if guided by a single mind. Every strike hit a critical system, every dodge avoided maximum damage. The Vanguard-Class moved closer, revealing its full size for the first time. Its massive hull loomed over the alien fleet like a shadow of judgment. The aliens finally saw what they had been blind to, the enormous ship, bristling with weapons, engines glowing with raw power. It dwarfed every cruiser, destroyer, and battleship in the area. "Impossible," Thax whispered. "It's a monster." And then the Vanguard-Class fired again. This time, multiple energy blasts tore through the alien flagship, crippling its shields, igniting fire across the hull and causing critical system failures. Smaller alien ships tried to assist, but the humans had anticipated every move. Gravity wells, cloaked fighters, and hidden drone swarms ensured that no escape route remained open. Panic spread through the alien ranks. Communications failed. Coordinated attacks dissolved into chaotic defensive fire. The alien fleet had expected a minor skirmish, a quick victory over humans they deemed primitive. Instead, they faced annihilation at the hands of a species they had never truly understood. Mara smiled faintly as she guided her scout ship past the remains of a destroyed cruiser. "They thought they could intimidate us. They thought they could underestimate us. They have no idea what's coming next." Captain Rylan, standing on the bridge of the Vanguard-Class, gave his final command for the engagement. "Prepare for full assault. Target their main fleet. Let them see the price of underestimating humanity." In the silence of space, the alien commanders finally understood their mistake. Humans were not weak. Humans were not slow. Humans were a force unlike anything the galaxy had ever faced. And the first encounter had only just begun. The alien fleet had been stunned, their confidence shattered in moments. Their proud ships, armed with the deadliest weapons in the galaxy, now floated in chaos, smoking and broken. But the humans had only begun to show their true strength. The Vanguard-class Star Destroyer, hidden until now, moved with deliberate precision. Its massive hull seemed to absorb the dim starlight, making it almost invisible to sensors. Hidden weapon systems powered up silently, and drones, invisible to most alien scanners, swarmed outward, ready to strike with deadly accuracy. On board, Captain Ryland stood on the bridge, his gaze steady. "Engage full systems," he commanded. "Let them understand the mistake of underestimating humanity." Every human ship, from the smallest scout to the mighty Vanguard class, moved as if they were a single organism. Frigates twisted through asteroid cover, launching missile volleys that tracked alien ships like guided predators. Energy shields flared at the last second, absorbing shots that should have destroyed them. Even ships that looked old and outdated performed incredible maneuvers with impossible speed. In the alien command chamber, panic was spreading like wildfire. Commander Zarkin's claws rapped violently against the console. "How is this possible?" he shouted. "Our sensors, our calculations, none of it makes sense. Their fleet, it's destroying us without breaking a sweat." Admiral Thax's mandibles clicked nervously. "They have technology, advanced shields, drones, some kind of coordinated system. It's unlike anything we've seen." But even as the aliens scrambled, humans advanced methodically. The Vanguard class fired its main cannons, massive energy beams that cut through alien shields with frightening precision. Alien ships were torn apart, one by one, before they could even aim properly. Smaller human frigates moved between the remains of destroyed cruisers, launching plasma bursts that disabled engines and communication systems. Lieutenant Mara Voss, piloting her scout ship, observed the destruction. "They thought we were slow," she said over comms. "They thought our ships were weak. Every strike we make teaches them they were wrong." The alien fleet attempted to counterattack. Massive disruptor beams fired in wide arcs, missiles streaked across space, and fighter squadrons tried to flank the humans. But every move the aliens made had been anticipated. Gravity wells and invisible drones forced their ships into traps, while human frigates blocked escape routes. The humans' control over the battlefield was absolute. The Vanguard class revealed even more of its power. Its secondary cannons opened, firing rapid volleys that shredded alien armor. Cloaking drones emerged, making it appear as if the human fleet was everywhere at once. Even alien sensors could not distinguish reality from illusion. From the alien flagship, Zarkin and Thax watched in disbelief. "We are losing, and fast," Zarkin growled, his voice tight with fear. "Our fleet, it's being torn apart by a handful of ships, and that massive one, it's unstoppable." The humans did not gloat. They did not celebrate. Their movements were precise, disciplined, and confident. Each strike was measured, each maneuver calculated. It was as if they were teaching the aliens a lesson in humility, a lesson the galaxy would not soon forget. Captain Ryland's voice was calm over the comm: focus on key targets. Disable their leadership. Control the battle. Let them see what humans are capable of. Drones fired homing micromissiles, targeting the engines and weapons of alien ships. Frigates launched concentrated energy blasts, hitting weak points with deadly accuracy. The Vanguard-Class moved through the battlefield like a predator among prey, invisible until it chose to strike. Alien shields flared and failed repeatedly. Massive cruisers exploded in bright bursts of energy. The aliens' morale collapsed. Communication between ships broke down. Coordinated formations dissolved into chaos. Some attempted retreat, but gravity traps and tactical positioning prevented escape. Every move seemed anticipated, every strategy countered before it could succeed. "This is impossible," Thax whispered. They are not just winning. They are dominating." Even as destruction raged around them, humans remained calm. There were no frantic commands, no desperate maneuvers. Each ship knew its role, and each crew member executed it flawlessly. The Vanguard-Class led with authority, but the smaller ships provided support, distractions, and flanking maneuvers that made the human fleet seem larger than it truly was. Mara's voice cut through the comms again. "They thought they could intimidate us with numbers. They thought we were weak. They've learned their mistake too late." The alien commanders had no choice but to watch as their fleet crumbled. Ships they had thought invincible were destroyed with terrifying efficiency. They had underestimated humans, assumed they were slow, weak, and primitive. Now the humans' true power had been revealed. And the galaxy had taken notice. Captain Ryland looked at the screens, observing the battle. "Hold positions. Maintain pressure. Let them understand, humans are not to be underestimated." The alien fleet began to scatter, crippled, confused, and broken. Yet even in retreat they would carry a lesson they would never forget. Humans were not the primitive species they had assumed. Humans were clever, disciplined, and unstoppable when pushed to the edge. In the silent expanse of space, the Vanguard-class Star Destroyer moved through the wreckage like a shadow of judgment. Around it, the human fleet remained poised, calm, and ready for the next challenge. They had revealed their power, and the aliens would never forget the day they underestimated humanity. The first major victory was complete. But Captain Ryland knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers, and humans had much to teach the stars. The remnants of the alien fleet fled through the void, engines blazing, weapons firing desperately. But their retreat was chaotic. Broken ships, crippled cruisers, and panicked pilots filled the space lanes with smoke, sparks, and floating debris. The humans, calm and precise, began the chase, not recklessly but with a deliberate, tactical brilliance that the aliens could not hope to match. From the bridge of the Vanguard-class Star Destroyer, Captain Ryland observed the fleeing fleet. His eyes were steady, focused. Keep formation tight. Predict their moves. Let them think they have a chance, then close the trap. Lieutenant Mara Voss guided her scout ship through the debris, her fingers flying over the console. "They're trying to escape," she reported. "Using every trick in the book. Gravity fields, warp jumps, decoys, but they're heading straight into our net." The alien commanders were panicked, issuing frantic orders. Split the fleet. Regroup at the outer sector. Fire at the pursuers. But their tactics were too late, too uncoordinated. Every maneuver had been anticipated by the humans, every escape route predicted. Small human frigates moved like hunting packs, weaving through asteroid belts and debris fields, cutting off exits and driving the aliens toward pre-planned kill zones. Energy pulses flashed as the humans disabled engines, communications, and targeting systems. Ships that had once carried pride and confidence now floated helpless, unable to maneuver or respond. The Vanguard-class moved like the eye of a storm, massive and unstoppable. Its engines glowed faintly, emitting a steady hum that echoed in the minds of anyone observing from a distance. From its concealed weapons bays, coordinated strikes ripped through alien cruisers, leaving trails of fire and wreckage. Every move was precise, almost surgical. "Deploy the drones," Captain Ryland ordered. "Sweep the outer lanes. Ensure nothing escapes." Hundreds of drones deployed instantly, small, agile, and almost invisible. They flew in perfect coordination, disabling engines, jamming sensors, and sabotaging weapons. The aliens tried to fight back, but the drones anticipated every move. Missiles exploded harmlessly, turrets misfired, and larger ships found themselves trapped in gravitational distortions created by human devices hidden among the asteroids. From her scout ship, Mara watched the chaos with a faint smile. They thought their numbers would save them. They thought fear could drive us back. But we control this battle. Every step, every move, they're falling into our plan. The aliens attempted to regroup in clusters, hoping concentrated firepower would overwhelm the humans. But the humans were never in one place. Frigates split off, striking from multiple angles, while the Vanguard-Class advanced slowly, its massive cannons keeping the alien flagship and its escorts pinned down. Commander Zarkin was nearly speechless. We cannot regroup. Every move, they predict it. Every escape route, blocked. It's like they know what we'll do before we do it. Impossible, Thax muttered. Their fleet is small, insignificant. Yet they destroy us as if we were nothing. How? The answer was simple yet terrifying. Humans did not rely solely on numbers or firepower. They relied on strategy, teamwork, and calculated brilliance. Every ship played a role. Every attack, diversion, and maneuver was part of a greater plan, orchestrated with precision that no alien mind could match. The Vanguard-Class demonstrated its might once more. Its main cannons fired in rapid succession, hitting 2 alien cruisers simultaneously, tearing them apart in blinding flashes of energy. Smaller ships moved to finish off surviving vessels, while cloaking drones appeared unexpectedly, taking out weapons and engines without warning. Even in retreat, the aliens could not hide. Every warp jump, every evasive maneuver was countered by predictive tracking. Every hope of escape was crushed under human brilliance. Focus on the flagship, Rylan ordered. It is the heart of their fleet. Without it, the rest will scatter and fall. Ensure it cannot escape. Missiles and energy pulses struck the alien flagship with deadly precision, disabling engines, cutting communications, and destroying weapon systems. Panic erupted among the alien crew. Their formation disintegrated completely. Small skirmishes erupted as ships tried to flee independently, only to be intercepted by human frigates or trapped by hidden gravitational fields. Mara guided her scout ship through the chaos. They thought humans were weak, she said quietly, her voice calm and confident. They thought we would panic. They thought we were slow. But humans do not flee. Humans do not fear. We outthink, outmaneuver, and outfight them, every time. The aliens' morale collapsed entirely. Some ships attempted desperate maneuvers, trying to escape into uncharted regions of space. But human drones followed silently, tracking every movement. Cloaked frigates appeared unexpectedly, cutting off routes and ensuring no ship escaped the trap. Captain Ryland's voice rang over the comms, calm and authoritative. End of the chase. Focus on containment. Disable the rest. The galaxy will remember this day. The alien commanders finally understood the truth. Humans were not what they seemed. They were not weak, slow, or primitive. Humans were clever, disciplined, and unstoppable when united. The remnants of their fleet were no longer a threat. They were evidence of a lesson painfully learned. Never underestimate humanity. As the last alien ship fell silent, drifting helplessly in the void, the Vanguard-Class moved through the wreckage like a shadow of judgment. The humans had not only won the battle, they had demonstrated absolute control, combining cunning, technology, and strategy to dominate an enemy that had once believed itself invincible. And even as the smoke cleared and debris floated silently in space, Captain Ryland knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy had seen a glimpse of human brilliance, and every empire would soon learn the cost of underestimating them. The void of space was silent, except for the hum of distant stars and the faint crackle of damaged alien ships. The remnants of the fleeing alien fleet tried desperately to regroup, but the humans were already closing in. What had begun as a small skirmish had transformed into a decisive engagement, one that would echo across the galaxy for decades. From the bridge of the Vanguard-Class Star Destroyer, Captain Ryland observed the battlefield. His massive ship, black and gleaming, moved deliberately through the debris, commanding the entire human fleet. All units, prepare for full engagement, he ordered. Focus fire. Neutralize their leadership. Show them the price of underestimating humanity. The human fleet responded instantly. Frigates darted through asteroid fields, launching missile volleys that sought the engines and weapon systems of alien ships. Drones, hundreds in number, spread across the battlefield, sabotaging shields, jamming communications, and disrupting alien formations. Every human vessel, from the smallest scout to the massive Vanguard-Class, acted as a single organism, coordinated with flawless precision. The alien commanders, Zarkin and Thax, watched in disbelief as their fleet disintegrated. Ships that had once inspired fear now floated helplessly in space, crippled and burning. We cannot hold them," Zarkin muttered, his voice trembling. "Their fleet, it's unstoppable. Every move we make, they counter it before we even act." "Impossible," Thax whispered. "They're too few, too weak, yet they dominate us completely." But it was not strength in numbers that made the humans unbeatable. It was discipline, planning, and the ability to anticipate every move of their enemy. Humans did not panic. Humans did not hesitate. Humans struck with calculated brilliance, overwhelming the aliens in every way imaginable. The Vanguard-Class Star Destroyer unleashed its full power. Massive energy beams tore through alien cruisers, cutting them apart as if they were made of paper. Smaller human ships flanked enemy vessels, striking critical systems while remaining almost invisible to alien sensors. Cloaked drones appeared suddenly, disabling weapons and engines before vanishing again. From her scout ship, Lieutenant Mara Voss guided a swarm of drones toward the alien flagship. "They thought they could escape," she said calmly. "They thought their fleet would be enough to intimidate us. But humans do not fear. Humans do not retreat. We finish what we start." The aliens tried to regroup, desperate to protect their command ships. But the humans anticipated every move. Gravity wells from hidden human devices trapped ships in place, preventing warp jumps and blocking escape routes. Missile volleys were countered by energy shields that flared at the perfect moment. The alien fleet was caught in a perfect storm, unable to act effectively. "Deploy secondary cannons," Rylan commanded. "Focus on their main fleet. Break them completely." The Vanguard-Class fired a series of massive blasts, hitting the alien flagship and its escorts simultaneously. The explosions were immense, illuminating the battlefield with brilliant flashes of light. Alien ships toppled, shields collapsed, and engines failed. Panic erupted across the fleet as they realized their defeat was inevitable. Smaller human frigates moved in to finish off surviving vessels. Plasma bursts tore through hulls, missiles destroyed critical systems, and drones disabled any ship that attempted to flee. The human fleet moved like a single organism, each unit supporting the other, creating an unstoppable wave of precision and power. From the alien flagship, Zarkin barked orders, but they were ignored. Communications had been disrupted, and chaos had spread throughout their ranks. Ships fired at random, engines flared, and some attempted desperate evasive maneuvers, only to be trapped by human forces. The humans had predicted every move, every desperate gambit, every possible escape. "Focus on the command ships," Rylan ordered. "Once they fall, the rest will scatter. Do not give them a chance to regroup." Drones swarmed the remaining command vessels, sabotaging shields and weapons. Frigates struck from unexpected angles, firing precision blasts that destroyed critical systems. The Vanguard-Class fired again, a massive energy beam hitting the alien flagship directly, ripping through its hull and causing a chain reaction of explosions. The alien fleet finally broke entirely. Some ships drifted silently, disabled and lifeless. Others tried to flee, only to be intercepted by hidden human units. The once mighty armada had been reduced to scattered wreckage and burning debris. The humans had won decisively. Mara guided her scout ship through the aftermath, observing the destruction with quiet satisfaction. "They thought humans were weak. They thought we were slow. They thought we could be intimidated. They were wrong." Captain Ryland surveyed the battlefield from the bridge of the Vanguard-Class. The human fleet was intact, disciplined, and ready for the next engagement. The alien fleet lay in ruins, a testament to the power, strategy, and brilliance of humanity. "Hold positions," he commanded. "We maintain control. Let the galaxy see that humans are not to be underestimated." The HFY moment was complete. Humans had proven that courage, intelligence, and teamwork could overcome even the most powerful enemies. They had been underestimated, mocked, and doubted, but their actions spoke louder than words. In the silent void, the Vanguard-Class Star Destroyer floated like a shadow of judgment. Around it, smaller human ships moved with calm authority, scanning for survivors and ensuring no threat remained. The aliens had learned a lesson they would never forget. Humans were clever, disciplined, and unstoppable when united. And as the last alien ship exploded in the distance, Captain Rylan knew the galaxy had only seen the beginning. Humanity's rise was just starting, and no force, no matter how mighty, could stop them when they moved as one. The stars shone cold and bright around the victorious human fleet. Silence returned to the void, but it was a different kind of silence, one of respect, fear, and awe. Humans had not only survived, they had conquered. The galaxy would remember this day, and it would never be the same. The battlefield was silent. Broken alien ships drifted through the void like forgotten relics, their hulls shattered, lights blinking faintly before fading into darkness. Flames from destroyed engines and torn-apart cruisers reflected against asteroids, illuminating the eerie calm of space. The humans had won decisively. Yet there was no celebration aboard the Vanguard-Class Star Destroyer. Victory was quiet, disciplined, and calculated as humanity always preferred. Captain Ryland stood on the bridge, observing the aftermath. His eyes were steady, calm, yet sharp. "Survey the wreckage," he ordered. "Check for survivors and disable any remaining threats. We maintain control until the area is secure." Lieutenant Mara Voss guided her scout ship through the debris field, scanning for any signs of life. Small alien escape pods drifted silently, empty or damaged, their occupants long gone. "All systems stable," Mara reported. "No immediate threats detected. The fleet is intact and ready for further orders." The human fleet, though victorious, moved with caution. Every ship maintained formation, energy shields active, engines ready. The Vanguard-Class led the way, a silent sentinel of power and authority, ensuring that no corner of the battlefield went unchecked. Humans had proven their might, but discipline prevented complacency. Back in the alien command centers, the news of defeat spread like wildfire. Entire fleets had been destroyed or crippled. Generals and admirals scrambled for explanations, but no one could fully understand what had happened. Humans, primitive in appearance, underestimated by every observer, had decimated the mightiest alien fleets with cunning, discipline, and unyielding strategy. "They were too clever," one alien officer admitted, his voice shaking. "Their ships, their tactics. I have never seen anything like it. We assumed weakness and it destroyed us." "They are not weak," another whispered. "They are something else entirely. Something we cannot match, not yet." Even among the surviving aliens, fear replaced arrogance. The name of the Vanguard-Class Star Destroyer spread quickly, whispered across the galaxy like a shadow in the void. Entire civilizations would now rethink their assumptions about humanity. What had once been considered primitive, vulnerable, and laughable had proven to be cunning, disciplined, and unstoppable. Aboard the Vanguard-Class, Captain Ryland surveyed the silent battlefield. "We've shown the galaxy our strength," he said quietly. "But this is only the beginning. Humanity does not stop. We will continue to explore, to protect, and to grow. Those who underestimate us will learn one way or another." Mara's scout ship hovered near the Vanguard-Class, scanning for anomalies. The aliens, they thought they had superiority. They thought our fleet was weak. Now they know the truth. And it will spread. Ryland nodded. "They will speak our name. They will remember the day humanity showed its true power. But our mission is not revenge. Our mission is survival, exploration, and the protection of those who cannot protect themselves. That is the strength of humanity." As the human fleet regrouped, communications were established across nearby systems. Messages of caution, observation, and respect for humanity began spreading. Entire empires paused their expansion, reconsidering their assumptions. Humans had changed the balance of power in the galaxy in a single engagement, not through sheer numbers, but through intelligence, strategy, and unity. The Vanguard-Class Star Destroyer moved silently through the void, flanked by smaller ships that had executed the battle flawlessly. Sensors scanned the stars ahead, ever vigilant, ever ready. Humanity had proven its might, but the galaxy remained vast, mysterious, and full of unknown dangers. Mara looked out from her scout ship at the distant stars. "They will not forget this day," she said softly. "The galaxy now knows what humans are capable of. And we are just getting started." Captain Ryland turned toward her, his eyes reflecting the distant starlight. "The galaxy will always underestimate humans," he said calmly. "It is in our nature to surprise, to endure, and to excel. Today was only one battle. Tomorrow, the stars await." For a moment, silence reigned. Space stretched endlessly, a vast canvas of darkness and light. The destroyed alien fleet floated as a grim reminder of arrogance and misjudgment. Humanity had shown that even when outnumbered, even when underestimated, courage, discipline, and intellect could conquer any foe. In the following weeks, reports of the battle reached distant systems. Alien civilizations recalculated their strategies, increased surveillance, and spoke in hushed tones about the humans who had defied all expectations. The Vanguard-Class Star Destroyer, seemingly ordinary at first glance, became a symbol of human ingenuity and power. Fleets, once confident in their superiority, now moved with caution whenever humans were near. And yet, the humans did not boast. They repaired their ships, trained their crews, and continued their exploration. They had won, yes, but their mission remained unchanged: to push forward, to protect, and to show the galaxy that humanity's spirit could not be broken. As the Vanguard-Class glided silently into the void, flanked by its loyal fleet, Captain Ryland gave one final order: maintain course. Continue vigilance. Humanity has shown its strength, but the galaxy is full of challenges. Let us meet them head-on. Mara watched the stars pass by her cockpit, a calm smile on her face. The galaxy will remember us, she said. Not as weak humans, but as unstoppable. And so, in the silent expanse of space, humanity's legacy had begun. They had proven that intelligence, strategy, and courage could surpass mere numbers and firepower. The galaxy had learned a lesson it would never forget: never underestimate humans. The stars shone brightly around the Vanguard-class star destroyer and its fleet. Silent, disciplined, and unstoppable, humans moved forward, ready for whatever challenges awaited them among the stars.